Vaishali madam, please begin.
Okay, sir. Hello, good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining today's webinar. Today, we have scheduled a webinar on the Quotients of Success, which has been organized by Applied Sciences and Humanities Department of Parul Polytechnic Institute, Parul University. I am Vaishali Nathwani, would like to introduce today's guest speaker, Dipti Chandra. She has been in training and management arena focusing on target groups in the hierarchy. Her style is interactive, engaging, and impacting. Psychometric tools entice her, and she prefers using them whenever possible in order to add flavor and flesh to the intervention. She has completed her master's in business administration and is also a certified assessor for competency mapping from XLRI Jamshedpur. She has also been certified professional behavior analyst. She has specialization and domain expertise in team building and leadership, conflict management, business etiquette, decision making, and many more. It's a privilege to welcome you here, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Vaishali ma'am. It's an absolute pleasure getting connected to Parul University, and through all of you. Of course, I'm absolutely privileged to be a part of this session on the Quotients of Success. I am absolutely ready to begin. You can just give me a green signal and we can start off.
Yes, ma'am. You can start with the session.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen. As I said that I'm extremely privileged to have Parul University invite me on for this session. I am assuming that you are all streaming live on Facebook. So maybe I'm not going to be able to actually look into the chat box what Facebook is going to promote with respect to the questions as well as the answers that you are going to be posting there. So Vaishali ma'am is going to be doing the needful. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to intermittently keep asking her if she can read out the answers for me, and if she can also place out the questions in case if you have any, which is going to be at the end of the session. And once that is done, we will target one by one, piece by piece, what needs to be done. So having said that, let me quickly begin with this session. And for that, I'm going to start sharing my screen. I would request you to keep posting your questions, your responses, if any, on the chat, which is obviously connected to Facebook, and Vaishali ma'am can promote that for me. So starting particularly this particular slide, I am going to ask you a certain question. When you say quotient, does anybody know the meaning of this word quotient? If you know the answer, you can just punch it inside the chat box on Facebook. Maybe Vaishali ma'am can just read it out for me. Does anybody know what is the meaning of the word quotient? Vaishali ma'am, you may actually go unmute, and if you can see any response coming through, you can please let me know.
Sure, ma'am. Sure.
Okay. So is there anybody who has actually written the answer? What is the meaning of quotient? Does anybody
Not
know?
till now.
No problem. No problem. Perfectly fine. Quotient, the word quotient, it is also very classically mentioned into numbers, or how do you detect where are you standing? In order to be successful, a lot of people believe that success can be achieved only by a couple of factors, maybe dedication, maybe hard work, maybe sometimes integrity, loyalty, and so on and so forth. But the truth is that success can be achieved by a couple of very strong parameters, and these parameters are called as quotients. Now, in these particular quotients, what we have is 4 quotients to begin with. One is called as EQ. The second one is called as IQ. The third is called as AQ. And the fourth is also incidentally called as AQ itself. Now, requesting all of you to write down on the chat box if you can, if you know the meaning of the word IQ, if you can very quickly respond to that. What is the meaning of the word IQ? What's the meaning of the word EQ? And if you do know the meaning of AQ also, that is absolutely going to be a bonus. So Vaishali ma'am can actually unmute herself and let me know if she can read any responses for me.
For EQ, someone has answered is emotional quotient.
Wonderful. That's absolutely correct. EQ is emotional quotient. Any other responses, Vaishali ma'am?
Then talking about IQ, it is Intellectual quotient or something.
Absolutely right. It is intelligence quotient, or also called as intellectual quotient for that matter. Any responses for AQ?
No, ma'am. Till now, EQ and IQ.
No problem.
Yes.
I am going to fill in the gaps for people who are not able to actually give me the answer or the response on AQ. AQ means it is called as adaptability quotient, and the other AQ is called as adversity quotient. Now, you must be wondering that this is for the first time that you're probably hearing and listening to this. I will surely explain what these two other words mean. But before that, let us see this. This is a very, very beautiful and a very, very systematic concept called as the realm, or a realm also means a pattern. If you see very closely, it's called as a quartet of quotients. Quartet, the meaning of quartet means four. Okay. Now, intelligence, emotions, and adversity, that is the dependability on how do you come out of your struggles, stands very, very close to your entire persona. Your entire persona is built in such a manner that you can actually adapt to situations. Slowly and steadily, as we progress into the system or into this session, I will explain a few more concepts to you. But before that, I have to ask you a very, very small question. What do you think makes people successful? Please use the chat box to reply. And as always, I'm going to ask Vaishali ma'am to read the responses for me. What do you think does make people successful? Any idea? Any answers?
Their inner strength or confidence.
Very nice. Strength and confidence. That's a very good response. Anybody else? Any other answer? What makes people successful? Okay.
Sincerity.
Sorry.
Another response is sincerity.
Sincerity. Very good. Very nice. Any other responses? What makes people successful? All right. I am going to ask you in a different way. Do you think intelligence makes people successful? Simply write on yes or no. That's more than sufficient for me. Do you think intelligence makes you successful? Any responses, Vaishali ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Partly, we can say.
Individual Mukana.
Sorry, I'm not able to hear that answer, Vaishali ma'am.
Yes. Partly, we can say, ma'am, that intelligence is helpful for
Okay.
success.
Okay. Right. So intelligence does make you successful, but is it the only thing that makes people successful?
No.
Perfect. So
That's the answer was that partly we can say that intelligence
yes,
is helpful.
yes, absolutely. Partly, there are a lot of people who would say intelligence makes people successful, but that's absolutely not the only case. Now, I'm going to very quickly ask you certain names. And if you can tell me why are these people successful, okay? Number one, Thomas Alva Edison, Albert Einstein, or for that matter, a man by the name of Bill Gates. Why do you think these people are very renowned and very well known? Any idea? Albert Einstein, Thomas Alva Edison, and last but not the least is Bill Gates. Why do
Maybe
you think?
their confidence to work in their field.
Okay, their confidence to work in the field. Vaishali ma'am, is anybody typing out any answers so you can read from the chat box also for me?
Yes, I'm telling you that answers
Oh, wow.
also.
Okay, great. Very nice. Thank you so much.
Yes, I
All
will
right.
communicating in both the ways, so don't worry.
Okay. Any other responses? Why are these people so famous? No other responses?
Motivation, self-confidence.
Motivation, self-confidence. All right, these are interesting ones. Okay,
Mhm.
let me bounce up some other names and ask you, why are these people famous? So there is a person, a singer, a very, 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 very renowned singer by the name of Britney Spears. There was a grandmaster for chess by the name of Garry Kasparov. And long, long ages back, there was a man by the name of Femin, Richard Femin, and he was a physicist. Why do you think were these people very famous? And in case if you can tell me, what is the commonality between a Britney Spears and a Thomas Alva Edison, or a particular Garry Kasparov and a Bill Gates? What's the commonality? What's the line that makes it absolutely common? Any idea? Please use the chat box to respond. So Vaishali ma'am can read the answers for me.
Maybe that first of all they yes, hard work. One
Okay.
of the answer is hard work.
Right.
And second one that common is maybe that first time they got failure in their path, and then
Wow. Wow.
yes,
Lovely
failure in their
answer.
path. The common answer is that they have got first time they got failure
Right.
but they still moved on and on their path, maybe confident in their decision,
Right.
and they
True.
kept on moving.
Awesome. These are lovely, lovely responses. Vaishali ma'am, thank you so much for helping me out understand what people think. Now I'm going to tell the truth and the reality. Albert Einstein, Thomas Alva Edison, and Bill Gates are supposed to be those people whose intelligence quotients have been as equivalent to 160. Anything of an IQ which is 160 and above are people absolutely stupendously genius by the nature. But what is the difference between the other three that I named to you? Britney Spears, Gary Kasparov, as well as Richard Feynman. Richard Feynman is a physicist. He is a Nobel Prize winner. Gary Kasparov is a grandmaster of chess. And where Britney Spears is concerned, I think we need no prizes to actually identify she is also a very renowned name. But the truth is, their IQs have been the lowest recorded. So imagine there is a one set of people who are very successful with high IQ, and there is another set of people who are lowest on their IQ, yet they are very, very successful. My dear friends, what am I bringing out to you is a very, very stark difference to understand one very simple thing. Intelligence is just a score, and it has got a test which is modified in such a manner that you can actually find out about people's cognitive abilities. What is the meaning of cognitive? Thinking capability. How do you do mathematics? How do you do general knowledge? How do you do physics and biology and so on and so forth? But is it necessary that you actually become successful after having intelligence? The answer to that question is no. कहीं पर भी ऐसा लिखा नहीं गया है कि आपकी इंटेलिजेंस आपका यार्डस्टिक है सक्सेसफुल होने के लिए, और ये चीज आपके सामने इन्हीं लोगों ने प्रूव कर दी है. So these are the kind of people that I'm talking about. You can have a good look at them. They are all at particular scores which are fabulous by nature. All of these people are very, very renowned. I know some of कुछ लोगों के तो नाम आपने नहीं सुने होंगे, but I'm sure other people's name you've heard. So if you notice this, if you can see this, all of these particular people are lowest on their IQ. But imagine करिए ये फिर भी successful हैं. Okay? So one thing is for sure and one thing is for clear, that your life and your success is like this iceberg. Iceberg, I'm sure आप सभी लोगों को iceberg पता है क्या होगा. Titanic movie popularized this particular concept very beautifully. So iceberg का 1/10 ऊपर नजर आता है पानी के, and 3/4, that is 90%, is down below the surface of the water. Now what is important is people see you winning. लोग आज जानते हैं कि दीप्ति is a facilitator or is a trainer for more than 300 companies for the past 25 years. She reads people's body language. She reads people's brains. She is an emotional intelligence assessor. She is a pass out of XLRI Jamshedpur. She has actually trained in 7 different countries. तो ये सारा success हो जाता है दीप्ति का. But what people don't see is that I have failed many times in life. I have had a goal. I persistently sacrificed a lot of things. मैंने बहुत hard work डाला और फिर जाकर मुझे success मिला. So in an iceberg, in theory of an iceberg, what people see is just the tip, that Deepti is successful. Deepti is a facilitator. Deepti is a trainer. She's been invited by Parul University to deliver this lecture. But what people don't really see is what is beneath. तो जब लोग आपको देखते हैं in a college, in a job for that matter, they only see 1/10 of you and your personality, your clothes, your entire structure, the way you behave, and so on and so forth. But what they don't see is how much have you gone through. Okay? I want all of you to write down something if you've understood this concept of IQ on the chat on your Facebook. So, Vaishali ma'am can read it for me if you have understood this concept. If you have any kind of a question at this particular point, please keep it with you. I will take up all the questions at the end of the session. That's a promise. But if you have understood this segment, please say understood and I'll be very happy about it. So Vaishali ma'am can just let me know if there is any response to that.
There is one query about, madam, massive action.
Sorry?
Massive action.
No, your voice is cracking, ma'am. I'm so sorry.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, there is one word later written, that is
Right.
massive action.
Absolutely. Massive action means any kind of a forced action that you put in order to achieve your goals. जो दिखाई नहीं देता है, but you know how much of a push you've put, how much of an effort have you put to reach that. So that is called as massive action, which is very large, very very big. बहुत कोई बड़ा आपने कुछ sacrifice किया है, बहुत बड़ा आपने कुछ action लिया हो, which can be actually draining you for that matter, is called as massive action. तो वो इसीलिए वो 3/4 portion में दिखाई देता है. Is there any other thing that is there, Vaishali ma'am?
No,
Have
ma'am.
people understood? Have
Yes.
people understood it?
Yes,
Great.
ma'am.
Now, I'm going to ask you a very simple thing. जब हम ये पिक्चर देखते हैं तो क्या नजर आता है? Can anybody please tell me what do you understand when you see this picture? Can anybody tell me? This is a brain, by the way. I'm sure you would have guessed it. एक लेफ्ट हैंड साइड का ब्रेन है, एक राइट हैंड साइड का ब्रेन है. तो लेफ्ट हैंड साइड में क्या दिखाई देता है, राइट हैंड साइड में क्या दिखता है? You can write down the responses on the chat box. Vaishali ma'am obviously is going to read it out for me. What's the left side?
That one side is totally empty.
Yes.
And the other
I
one is
agree.
full of creativity and
Absolutely.
colors, vibrant.
Right. Absolutely. So beautiful. तो जिसने भी लिखा है कि लेफ्ट साइड पूरा खाली है, वह उसको खाली नहीं बोल सकते हैं, वो खाली है दिखाई देता हुआ, but there are concepts. So the left side of the brain is a logical brain. It is called as a practical brain. It is called as a calculative brain. It is called as a rational brain. It is that part of the brain जहां पर सबसे ज्यादा इंसान सोचता है about numbers, about how to do things and so on and so forth. And the right side of the brain, which is very beautiful. Why is it so colored? Because यहाँ पर होता है visualization, यहाँ पर होते हैं emotions, यहाँ पर होते हैं signs, symbols, यहाँ पर होता है art, यहाँ पर होता है music, यहाँ पर होती है बातचीत. Now you must be wondering, do we utilize the entire brain? So the answer to that simple question is no. We do not utilize our complete brain at all. You must have seen there are certain people who are extremely good with the left side. That means they're very good with the logic and practicality. तो कैलकुलेशन सुपर्ब होता है, मैथमेटिक्स में फैंटास्टिक होते हैं, कॉन्सेप्ट्स यूं आते हैं. बट देयर आर सर्टेन पीपल हु आर वेरी क्रिएटिव, लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल पीपल हु आर पेंटर्स, पीपल हु आर राइटिंग द स्क्रिप्ट्स फॉर मूवीज, जो गाने लिखते हैं. एंड मेरा फेवरेट है पीपल हु आर वेरी गुड विद देयर कुकिंग स्किल्स. तो इवन एक सिंपल वड़ा पाव, इमेजिन जस्ट अ वड़ा पाव, if it is very beautifully decorated and you put lots of sauces over it and you put some cheese over it and you garnish it, और जब आप उसको प्रेजेंट करते हैं तो सिंपल वड़ा पाव भी कितना ब्यूटीफुल लगने लगता है. सो पीपल हु आर इन द स्किल्स इंडस्ट्री, दे आर वेरी हाईली इमेजिनेटिव, दे आर वेरी हाईली क्रिएटिव. नाउ यू मस्ट बी वंडरिंग, टॉपिक का नाम तो इमोशनल इंटेलिजेंस है, तो ये सब कहाँ से आता है? सो यू विल बी सरप्राइज्ड टू नो माय डियर पीपल दैट इमोशंस कम फ्रॉम द राइट साइड ऑफ द ब्रेन. आई रिपीट, emotions come from the right side of the brain, and that is a default with everyone. हम सभी लोगों के लिए common है. तो emotions होते क्या है? Does anybody know what are emotions? In one word, if you can write, or one line, if you can write down on the chat box very quickly, what are emotions as per you? Or I can make it very simple. Is happiness an emotion? Is anger an emotion? Is anxiety an emotion? Is depression an emotion? Is worry an emotion?
In one word, we can say that it is a mental state which
Superb.
carries all this, which carries
Beautiful.
all the things.
Amazing, amazing, super. Whoever has written this answer, it's amazing. Vaishali ma'am, is there any other response?
Someone has answered degree of pleasure.
Very nice, degree of pleasure. Okay. Anything else? Any other response, Vaishali ma'am?
Feeling.
Feelings. Okay. Now this is something very important and crucial, which you will have to understand very well. Feelings are never emotions. Feelings are physical. Emotions are mental. Physical, that is physiological, and mental is psychological. जब आपको कोई मारता है तो यहाँ पर फील होता है, you are hurt, but you can't understand that within you. You might cry. So crying is physiological. Hurt is physiological. लेकिन जब हम कुछ महसूस करते हैं, which is a particular mental state, which is sometimes very difficult to express, is called as psychological. और psychological का मतलब होता है वो स्थिति जो कई बार explain करने में बहुत मुश्किल होता है. There are days you will see that in your life where you can't explain why are you happy. why are you sad, why are you upset, but you cannot express that in the physical form. It's a mental state, which is a very, very strong state. Now, Daniel Goleman was a particular man who actually created the concept of something called as emotional intelligence. Now, you'll be surprised, my dear people, that emotional intelligence in its own self, for that matter, is a very large study. जब मैंने इसका कोर्स किया था to become an assessor from the medical institute of the US for that matter, मुझे 5 दिन तो सिर्फ एक सर्टिफिकेशन को करने के लिए लग गए थे. And after that, it took me close to 18 odd years since the time I have been reading people's emotional intelligence. Emotions सिर्फ अपने खुद के नहीं होते, emotions दूसरों के भी होते हैं. Which is why when you are doing emotional intelligence or understanding emotions, there are 4 parameters to that. Number 1, what are your emotions? Number 2, how do you manage those emotions? Number 3, what are other people's emotions? And number 4, how do you tackle those emotions? So, self-awareness, self-management, social awareness and relationship management. इसका मतलब क्या है? आप खुद को जाने, खुद को संभालने की कोशिश करें, लोगों को समझने की कोशिश करें, और फिर लोगों के साथ आपकी relationships कैसे हैं, you have to manufacture on that also. A lot of times I'm going to give you a food for thought. सोचिए, बहुत बार आपने देखा होगा कि आप किसी को देखते को रो रहा है, क्यों रो रहा है? You will say, हाँ ये तो पागल है, इसकी तो आदत है रोने की, and you might probably just let it go. लेकिन अगर वही इंसान is somebody known to you, so maybe आप उसको जाके पूछेंगे क्या हुआ यार, why are you crying, why are you upset, and this particular person will probably tell you the reason. बहुत बार आपने नोटिस किया होगा that कई बार आप upset, you are unhappy, you're very very sad. Having said that, there is nobody who comes and asks you कि क्यों sad हो, क्या upset कर रहा है आपको, and you have to manufacture and manifest on those emotions all by your own self. Imagine how lonely do you feel. Is it not loneliness for others also? I want you to write down something on the chat box for this. Do you agree? Do you disagree? बहुत simple question है आप लोगों के लिए. Just simply write down agree or disagree. And if you have any kind of a question, I'll be very happy to respond to that. Vaishali ma'am is obviously there as my man Friday. She's helping me out with so many good things.
Yes, the mostly answers I agree.
Good, very nice, super. और कुछ लिखा है किसी ने वैशाली मैम? Does anybody have a question on this?
No, ma'am.
All right. This structure that you see in front of you, my dear friends, is called as the Daniel Goleman Competency Framework. In case whenever there is an opportunity and if Paro University wants to conduct an entire big session on emotional intelligence, we can get into the depth of these particular concepts also. Lekin, this is exactly word by word 25 parameters होते हैं emotional intelligence के, और आप imagine नहीं कर सकती कितनी सारी चीजें इसमें cover होती हैं. ठीक है? I'm going to take this a little more forward so that you get an understanding about the other things. Now, how do you build up on your emotional intelligence? सबसे पहला तरीका होता है pause करने का. Pause means stop. Before you speak, you have to think and then you react. Unfortunately, people don't do this. हम लोग reaction पहले देते हैं, फिर हम सोचते हैं कि क्यों react किया था. Think about it. गुस्सा है, react पहले करेंगे, बाद में सोचेंगे हमने ऐसे क्यों react किया. खुशी के है, खुश है, बहुत ज्यादा happy है, you'll go and probably eat outside, you'll binge, you'll probably do something very very drastic which is perfectly fine, but वो करने के बाद realize होता है, oh my god यार बहुत ज्यादा कर लिया. So pause before you do any particular activity. That is the best way to build your emotional quotient. Number 2, be very aware of your emotions. Ask your own self perpetually, constantly अपने आप से सवाल करिए, what makes me happy, what makes me sad. लोगों की ऐसी कौन सी हैबिट है जो मुझे बहुत डिस्टर्ब करती है. I'll give an example. As a person, I get very annoyed, very upset when people delay their jobs. मैं बहुत नाराज होती हूँ because I like discipline. As a human being, as an individual, as a person, I like things to be accurate, perfect होना चाहिए. इसलिए मेरे घर पे कोई सामान यहाँ वहाँ को छू देता है and they keep it here and there, I lose my mind. I have to be very very careful of my emotions so that I do not react on people, because not everybody has the same emotions that I do. मेरी habits दूसरे लोगों की habits से अलग हैं. So think about it and ask your own self, why do you get upset? Why do you get happy? What makes you depressed and so on? Last but not the least, take responsibility of what you feel. लोग और दुनिया आपकी इमोशंस की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी नहीं ले सकते, ना ही लेंगे. So you need to take responsibility of your own emotions fully. That control has to be in your hand. I give a very simple example. As a driver of my own car, steering wheel मेरे हाथ में ही होना चाहिए. If I give the steering wheel to somebody else, that somebody else will drive the way he or she wants to. मैं थोड़ी ड्राइव कर पाऊंगी. So आपके इमोशंस का ड्राइवर आप खुद हैं. All right, everyone. I'm just going to pause here for next 5 or 10 seconds. If you want to write down anything on the chat box, feel free to do that. As always, Vaishali ma'am will tell me if there are any questions. Vaishali ma'am, is there anything that you want to say? Is there anything that has been written?
One question, ma'am.
Sure, sure.
If during, if we are moving ahead, right, or working on our decision, and we are emotionally attached to our parents or friend or an mentor, right, and we want to go on that path, but they say no, then what is the solution for that thing? Should we move on or?
Okay. So this is a very, very typical scenario that you want to go ahead in life and you are very emotionally attached to your father, your mother, your siblings, your friends, and somewhere or the other, they are not with you on your decision. तो क्या करना चाहिए? Should you completely ban your parents? या family को बोलना चाहिए आप भाड़ में जाओ? Literally go to hell. I will do what I want to. The answer to that question is no. If at all, if you are practical to actually see to that you cover your own path and you want to follow your goal, you obviously can't hurt other people's emotions. So what will I suggest and what do I generally suggest? You need to tell your family or your friends for that matter the pros and cons of your goal. क्या कर सकते हैं आप ऐसा differently that you can tell your parents or you can tell your people. Number two, you are not separating out of them. You're simply doing something that you also like. So ऐसा तो नहीं है कि once you are on your goal, you're going to completely ban your people or completely lose relationships or boycott them. The answer is नहीं, ऐसा बिल्कुल नहीं है. So क्या both साथ साथ में दोनों चल सकते हैं? The answer is absolutely yes. Both can work together, but sometimes you have to use your brain, lesser of your heart. इसको हम लोग बोलते हैं रैशनैलिटी, इसी को हम लोग बोलते हैं लॉजिकल एप्लीकेशन ऑल्सो. सो डोंट गेट ओवर इमोशनल बट डोंट गेट ओवर प्रैक्टिकल ऑल्सो. I repeat, you cannot live with your loved ones, but you cannot live without them also. So keep this thing in mind. It has to be a beautiful balance. How do you balance it? You have to use your practical nature to make them understand what it means. All right. I hope I've been able to answer your question, whoever it was. I'm so sorry I can't see your names.
Yes,
But
yes.
Vaishali ma'am, is there anything else that anybody has written that I can handle?
No, ma'am. We can continue.
Super. Thank you so much. Now a quick question. You must be seeing this picture. काफी देर से लगी हुई है यहाँ पे. ये पिक्चर को देखकर क्या लगता है? Any idea?
अगर कुछ भी करना है तो हम कर सकते हैं. मन
Very
में
good.
बस विश्वास होना
Superb.
चाहिए.
Yeah, मन में से विश्वास होना चाहिए. You can do whatever you want to.
Yeah.
Does anybody know what is the name of these kind of people? इनको क्या बोलते हैं? I mean to say he's a marathoner. He's running. But ये जो situation है इनकी जो दोनों पैर नहीं है and he's using something, इनको क्या बोलते हैं? Any idea?
No, ma'am.
I'll wait for responses to come.
Yeah, sure. I will let you know.
Sure. I want you to find and tell me, not find rather. I know you'll be googling it up for sure. But मुझे बताइए, एक तो है ये prosthetic है. I mean to say it's an artificial limb that they put. But what are these people called as? Completely handicapped and they are marathoners and they run and so on. इनको क्या बोला जाता है? Any idea? Vaishali ma'am, do we have any responses?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so then I'm going to keep this absolutely like a quiz.
Yes, ma'am. Para Olympic.
Yes, I can see that. Yes, Paralympics. They are called as Paralympiads, Olympics, and so on and so forth. Perfectly fine. Now, these particular people have absolutely no way other to run except for these prosthetics. लेकिन जब आप ये पिक्चर को देखते हो तो सिर्फ एक ही ख्याल आता है. When you want to do something, you will definitely achieve it. When you want to do something, you will go against everything that is falling against your regulation and you will achieve it. इस इंसान को देखकर ये महसूस होता है that what is there that we should complain about. दो हाथ है, दो पैर है, सब कुछ है, still we complain. Adversities are challenges. Adversities are problems. Adversities are obstacles. Who has told you that you cannot achieve anything without an obstacle in front of you? I'm going to name two people. और मैं आपसे रिक्वेस्ट करूंगी कि ये सेशन खत्म हो जाने के बाद प्लीज लुक अप फॉर दीज टू पीपल on your search engines. The first name is Richie Parker, Ricie, Parker as in Parker. The second name is Nick Vujicic. I am 110% you must have seen Nick Vujicic. Please see their videos and think about it. What is that does not allow us to achieve something in life, and these people can. In the quotients of success, IQ है, EQ भी है, but if adversity quotient is not tackled very well, how will you ever go ahead in life? And having said that, when we speak about adversities, what do we talk about? It is a score. It's a measurement to find out capabilities of how much can you handle in life. In fact, you'll be surprised. इसके लिए टेस्ट होता है जिससे ये पता चलता है कि आपकी कितनी resilience है. What's the meaning of the word resilience? आप कितना पावर से उसको झेल सकते हैं. There are some people जो लोग इंजेक्शन ले लेते हैं, मार खा लेते हैं, गिर जाते हैं, खून निकल रहा है, but they still are smiling, not smiling, but at least they will not complain. On the other hand, there are a lot of people जो छोटी सी बात पर भी रोना शुरू कर देते हैं, and they get upset and so on and so forth. What's the difference between these two people? Difference is very simple. There are some people who enjoy challenges, and there are some people who just don't like challenges. There are some people who suffer but they keep quiet, and there are some people who इतना सा छोटा सा गड़बड़ हो जाए, they'll make a huge halla about it. Now both these particular people have got two different variables of the same particular quotient called as adversity, जिसको हम लोग कहा जाता है the problems or the mechanism of changes in your life. I'm just going to wait for another 5 more seconds. If Vaishali ma'am can see any question or anything that people want to ask, please go ahead and ask. Any question? Vaishali ma'am, you can read it.
There is one question, that is stance of resilience, right?
Sorry, there is a lot of noise in the background.
Yes,
Vaishali ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. The word is stance of resilience.
Resilience. Okay.
Yes.
So resilience का मतलब होता है the capacity to sustain, the capacity to bear. उसको resilience बोलते हैं. Let me give you an example. I live in a city by the name of Mumbai. Mumbai across the globe is called as a city of resilient people. Resilience का मतलब होता है मुसीबत आती है हम फिर खड़े हो जाते हैं, फिर मुसीबत आती है हम फिर खड़े हो जाते हैं, फिर मुसीबत आती है फिर हम खड़े हो जाते हैं. Now you must be wondering why. There was a point of time when Mumbai was bombed several times. We had several bombings in Mumbai. There were terrorist attacks. There have been rains. In fact, there has been deluges. हम जिसको deluge का मतलब होता है floods for that matter. लेकिन हमारी ना हिम्मत नहीं टूटती है. You must have seen people from the army, people from the defense forces, people in the navy, people in the air force. All of these particular people are heavy resilient people. Problem आया, face किया, आगे बढ़े. Problem आया, face किया, आगे बढ़े. That's the meaning of resilience. So the science of resilience can be tested. Let me give you a very simple example. एक बहुत बड़ा mountain है और आपको trekking करने का बहुत शौक है. Now you go with a bunch of friends for trekking. Let's say suppose you go to the beautiful peak of हरिहरेश्वर. बहुत मानी हुई जगह है ये trekking के लिए, और you go down to a place called लोहगढ़. मैंने देखा हुआ है, बहुत ब्यूटीफुल जगह है फॉर ट्रेकिंग. नाउ जब मैं भी गई थी कुछ लोगों के साथ में ट्रेकिंग करने के लिए, व्हाट वाज वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग इज दैट कुछ लोग बेस पर आए और बोले ओके बाय बाय टाटा, ये तो देखते ही बहुत बड़ा है यार, आगे नहीं जाना है. एंड गेस व्हाट हैपेंड, दे लेफ्ट एंड दे वेंट. दे केप्ट सिटिंग देयर इटसेल्फ, दे डिडंट वांट टू गो अप इटसेल्फ. वी सेड अरे बाबा इतनी दूर तक आए हो, एटलीस्ट कम. दे सेड नो नो नो, इट इज टू बिग, टू ह्यूज, and we are going to spend close to 6 or 7 hours climbing. Sorry, we are not doing it. And they didn't go itself. Now these kind of people in life are called as quitters. Quit कर दिया, छोड़ दिया. Number 2, second जो मेरे साथ में थोड़ा और आगे चले, and guess what they did? एक certain level पर आने के बाद they said wow what a beautiful place, यहाँ पे waterfall दिख रहा है, यहाँ पे दूसरा mountain दिख रहा है, यहाँ पे आसमान दिख रहा है, let us have some food, यहाँ पे फोटो कर खींचते हैं, सेल्फी लेते हैं, और हम यहीं पे हैं, आप आपको जाना है आप आगे चले जाओ, but we don't want to go ahead. So these particular people didn't go ahead at all. And guess what? We were forced to go ahead. और ये लोग यहीं पे बैठे रह गए. These kind of people who stop in between and are happy with what they have, they do not want to take up any more challenges, are called as campers. They start camping there itself. वहीं पर अपना घर बना लेते हैं. Last but not the least, एक third category होता है, जो ऊपर जाता है, चढ़ता जाता है, चढ़ता जाता है. They keep on climbing and they reach the peak. इतनी मुसीबत आती है, but they don't stop. These particular people are called as the climbers. ऊपर तक जाते हैं, end and peak तक पहुंचते हैं, and that is where they say we have now become successful. Okay, I'm going to show you that particular slide so that you understand what I'm saying. And if you have any question or if you want to write down anything, I'll be very happy. So Vaishali ma'am can actually do the needful and let me know if they have anything in mind.
No, madam.
We'll just wait for a couple of seconds, ma'am, in case if people want to say something. Anything that people are writing down, Vaishali ma'am? Vaishali ma'am, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Is there any other question?
No, no, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. This particular concept is called as a theory. आप अपनी adversity quotient को बढ़ा कैसे सकते हैं? How can you become a little better with your resilience, with your power to achieve things? So the word is called as lead, L-E-A-D. L stands for listen to your response to adversity. सोचिए कि आपको आपका body क्या signal दे रहा है, आपको आपका brain क्या signal दे रहा है. Go ahead, don't go ahead. Stop, don't stop. Do it, don't do it. Listen to the brain giving you a response. Number 2, E, that is explore. सभी तरीके की explorations करिए. In the sense, find out what could be done, what cannot be done. जिसको हम लोग बोलते हैं the right effect or also the end result. A stands for analyzing the evidence. क्या हो सकता है? What will happen if I go up? What will happen if I don't do this? What will happen if I do this and if I succeed? What will happen if I don't do it and if I don't succeed also for that matter? And last but not the least is the D. Do it. Sometimes not getting scared is okay. I can tell you this with absolute conviction. Last year, before the pandemic, just before the pandemic, I went and did my bungee at the conception point in Rishikesh. I have done multiple levels of rafting. I've done flying foxes and so on. So adventure मुझे पसंद है. Yes, डर नहीं लगता, बहुत लगता है. लेकिन the whole point is, ask your own self. I asked myself, what's my response to an adversity? Trouble, challenge, या for that matter, डर. इनसे क्या किया जा सकता है? Can you fight it? The answer, if you get it as yes, do it. But do explore your options. And last but not the least, analyze with what you do. Can it help you or not? Okay. If there is anything that you wish to write down, please keep flowing your responses on the chat box. I'll be very happy to, understand what you have in mind. If there is nothing, of course, I'm going to push through. Now, when you see this particular picture, I am seeing that Vaishali ma'am is not telling me anything. Iska matlab definitely ye hai ki that she has got nothing that anybody has written there. Am I right, Vaishali ma'am?
It's absolutely clear, madam.
Awesome. Great, great. Now, a quick question to all of you. ये picture देख के क्या लगता है? What is this picture? What is this picture? क्या है ये? This is apparently supposed to be the last quotient of success. Yeah. But you have to tell me.
Who is able to change the colors according to the situation?
वैशाली मैम, ये आपका रिस्पॉन्स है क्या? आप रिस्पॉन्सेस पढ़ रहे हैं? क्योंकि आप बहुत अच्छे
ये मेरा है. ये मेरा है.
इसीलिए मैंने कहा कि आप तो बहुत अच्छे रिस्पॉन्सेस दे रहे हैं. What about the others? No other response?
Not right now, ma'am.
Okay. This particular thing that you see, which is there, is a chameleon. Very popularly famous for changing its colors. People say chameleons are adaptable, the most adaptable to nature, because they can actually identify threat. They can actually identify a problem. और जैसे ही प्रॉब्लम को देखते हैं, वो लोग क्या करते हैं? अपना रंग बदल लेते हैं और उसके आसपास जितना कुछ हो रहा होता है ना, उसके साथ में डील करते हैं. Now I have a question. I want you to reply. Are humans as good as chameleons? Yes, no, something on the chat box, please. Are humans as good as chameleons? Do they adapt to the problems?
Yes.
All right. So one person is saying yes. What about the others? What about the others? No other responses, Vaishali ma'am?
On Facebook, some are telling yes, some are telling no.
तो मैं फेसबुक के रिस्पॉन्सेज की पूछ रही हूँ.
Yes, ma'am.
पारुल यूनिवर्सिटी वाले तो हर
दोनों
चीज के
दोनों
लिए
साइड पे
response दे रहे हैं.
कम्युनिकेशन कर रही हूँ.
Very nice, very nice. Thank you so much.
तो ड्यूअल पर्सनालिटी राइट
Yes,
now.
yes, absolutely, absolutely. I wish this was easy for me because ताकि मैं देख सकती तो this pain would not have come to you. So now
No.
the answer to that is adaptability. Yes, humans are like chameleons, but not totally. उनकी capability chameleon जैसी अच्छी नहीं है. Chameleons are extremely adaptable, while humans aren't. We don't know how to do it, but we should get this particular quotient in our lives so that जितनी जल्दी हम adapt करें situations के साथ हम उतनी ही ज्यादा successful हो सकते हैं. So how do you improve your adaptability quotient? बहुत simple है. You have to see things around you, accept it, acknowledge it कि हाँ problem है, situation है. There is a particular danger in front of me. There is a particular obstacle. O, that is own it. Own का मतलब होता है ये आपकी problem है, आपकी situation है, तो उसको own up करिए. Understand that that is your particular dynamic life, जिसके अंदर जो हो रहा है वो आपकी जिंदगी का है. Third, attempt to solve situation problems for you. Please look out for solutions. I have a very simple fundamental in my life. If problems are mine, it is not necessary solutions also should be mine. I can seek help. I can seek help from my friends, from my teachers, from my coaches, from my mentors, anybody for that matter. I can ask them for advice. And last but not the least is do it. Please execute that change. At max kya hoga? People say, Deepti, what will happen if we fail? I have only one reply to that. Nobody fails in life. You either are successful or you learn a lesson. It is a very, very bad thing to say, मैं पास हो गया, मैं फेल हो गया. पास हो जाते हैं और दूसरा होता है फेल नहीं होता है, हम लर्न करते हैं. लेकिन वो लर्न सिर्फ नहीं करना होता है, you have to come out of that also. So after you have learned a lesson, undo that. Change करिए and try and get better. So in improving your adaptability quotient, it is very, very important that आप जो कुछ भी आप learn कर रहे हैं उसके ऊपर आप काम कर दें. These are the ways and means to improve your adaptability quotient. Working with an open mind, keeping your eyes and your mind open to new possibilities, engaging with people with an open heart, learn from others. My father, when he was alive, used to always tell me something. Your life is very short to make mistakes and learn from them. So learn from others' mistakes. तो दूसरे लोगों को देखकर गलतियां सुधारने की कोशिश करिए. Don't repeat what other people do. Don't make your own mistakes and get into a trap. See what other people do and learn from them. Make yourself open to exploring. I have been a very explorative kind of a person. मैंने बहुत सारी चीजें एक्सपेरिमेंट की हैं. The reason? Because I don't know where I have a learning, where I have a success. So no problem. Be fearless, and that will be making you very, very uncomfortable. But uncomfortable होने के बाद ही you will become the best in life. All right. I'm again going to pause for 10 seconds. If you have any question, feel free to write down. If there is no question, at least write down understood on the chat box and Vaishali ma'am can read it. My time is inching towards a closure because we're already at 12:15. So I wouldn't want to waste even a single minute. So if you have any kind of question, if you want to ask anything, feel free to do that. So Vaishali ma'am, maybe you can help me.
So sometimes to be successful, ma'am, is the way right to move from our comfort zone, out from comfort zone.
Vaishali ma'am, the surprising part and the fact is that in order to become successful, you always have to come out of your comfort zone. You cannot ever grow when you are very, very comfortable. I'm going to give you my example with absolute conviction. I have a double MBA in marketing, HR, finance. I have a diploma in industrial labor law relations. I'm also an international baccalaureate coach in business and management from UK. Now imagine itni sari qualifications hai, and I have actually taught as a professor for 20 long years. And simultaneously, I was a corporate trainer also. I was training organizations. And that's the reason for the past 25 years, I have trained more than 300 companies. आप मुझे बताइए मेरी लाइफ में कंफर्टेबल क्या था? There were peaks and valleys, peaks and valleys and peaks and valleys. इतना ज़्यादा discomfort था. There was nothing which was very systemic. But I did not stop. The reason because if I had not experimented, if I had not explored options, I would not have been able to learn. So do not ever be in your comfortable zone. Body and mind, if they become comfortable, they'll rust. I repeat, they will rust. Which is why आजकल doctors कहते हैं थोड़ा exercise करो नहीं तो bones jam हो जाएंगी. Books पढ़िए नहीं तो brain jam हो जाएगा. So how can you learn when you're comfortable? Am I right, Vaishali ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
So Vaishali ma'am, if there is any question, I'll be very happy to respond to it. But if there is no question, then I can continue.
Yes, ma'am. No questions right now.
No? So I'm
Yeah.
going to continue from this point onwards.
Yes.
You have seen there are only 4 quotients. आपने सोचा भी होगा कि हाँ quotients तो 4 ही दिखाए थे. IQ है, EQ है, AQ and AQ, which is adaptability and adversity. But in सबके ऊपर there is something bigger. Does anybody know what is that quotient? Any idea? What is that quotient that is bigger and larger than all of these 4 quotients? Any idea? If there is anybody who can tell me, maybe if you can leave a response in the chat box. Vaishali ma'am, are people trying?
No, ma'am.
No? Nobody? That's very sad. All right, I'm going to make your life a little more simple. What makes you happy? What makes you happy? Please use the chat box to respond. So again, Vaishali ma'am is going to read it out for me. What makes you happy? All right. So I have one response, our work. Okay. Our work makes us happy. Is there anything that makes you happy?
The thing which we like and it gets completed, then it's
okay. Anything that you start and it gets completed. Very good. Are there any responses on the Facebook page, Vaishali ma'am?
That is one of the response that
Okay.
I communicated with you right now.
Okay. Okay. Any other responses? What makes you happy? Okay, I'm going to
get success and
whenever you get success.
Yeah.
Very good. Let me ask you a different question. Has it ever been that you're happy without any reason? बिना मतलब के खुश हो सकते हैं आप? या कभी हुए हैं बिना मतलब का? Write down yes or no on the Facebook page is also more than sufficient for me. Simply tell me, have you ever been happy without any reason? Can you be happy without any reason? Should you be happy without any reason? Any responses on Facebook?
50%.
What is 50%?
Oh, yes, 50%. Yes, 50%. No.
Wow. Okay. So the people who've said yes, great. For the people who've said no, let me tell you something very interesting. Happiness is never extrinsic. Happiness is always intrinsic. You can be happy from within without having anything also, provided you have a particular purpose in your life. बहुत बार आपने नोटिस किया होगा बच्चे स्टूपिड चीजों पे खुश होते हैं. बच्चों को मिट्टी दे दो खुश हो जाते हैं. बच्चों को टूटा हुआ खिलौना मिल जाए ना वो भी उसमें भी खुश हो जाता है. There are times when you might see adults. If you get a pizza, you still find something faulty in it. If you get a pizza and French fries, you'll say, "अरे French fries peri peri होती तो ज़्यादा अच्छा होता." You're still not happy. You get a pizza, you get a peri peri French fries, but you don't get a thumbs up. You get a Coca-Cola. अरे यार Coca-Cola होता तो बहुत अच्छा होता. नहीं होता. Sorry, thumbs up होना चाहिए था. So many manipulations and changes, but why can't you be happy in the moment, in the now? People who are happy without any reason find happiness within. People who find reasons to be happy are looking out for happiness outside, which is called as extrinsic. And nobody in this world has taken up the ownership to make you happy. I am happy because I have a job. I am happy because I have salary. I am happy because I had good Chinese food. I am happy because I'm wearing a very good dress today. I am very, very happy because my father has bought and the most recent iPhone for me. Think about it. Sari ki sari cheezein are dependent upon something. So your happiness is dependent upon having something. Have you ever seen a laborer चिलचिलाती धूप के अंदर जो सूखा उसको मिलता है वो खाता है और वो पत्थर पे सो जाता है, and still that person is very happy, very calmly sleeping there. He wishes for a bed, and though we have a bed, we have everything in the house that can make us happy, but we still crib, we still find reasons to be complaining about. I want you to just think over these points. Whatever I said, is this right or is this wrong? Leave at least some kind of a response for me on the Facebook. I'm sure Vaishali ma'am is going to read out to me. Do you agree with what I'm saying? Yes, no, absolutely nonsense, ma'am. No, I don't agree with you. Even that is fine. But please tell me, is it right or is it wrong?
Yes.
Sorry, Vaishali ma'am, I
I
can't hear
agree
you.
with you.
Okay.
So I think self-satisfaction is much more important.
Absolutely. Self-satisfaction, self-sufficiency, and so on and so forth. I am going to pack this session by telling you something very crucial. You may be in a group of friends. You may be with a group of people. You are with people, still you can be lonely because you may not feel comfortable with them. But कई बार आप अकेले होते हैं, which is called as alone, and you're still never lonely. That's the peak of happiness. लोगों के साथ होकर भी अगर आप अकेले हैं, तो what's the happiness? But आप अकेले हैं, लेकिन फिर भी lonely नहीं है. That's the pinnacle of your happiness. And the fifth particular quotient, which was deliberately not shown to you, is called as the happiness quotient. IQ, EQ, AQ, and EQ, AQ again, can all be managed very, very beautifully well, only and only if happiness is taken care of. If that stays in place, all of the other quotients can be manufactured beautifully well. And with that, of course, my time is clicking away. I am not going to take any more further time because I'm sure Vaishali ma'am would like to say something. So with that, I complete my session. Thank you so much for listening so patiently. I'm hoping with concentration also for that matter. And I hope that this very, very small little segment, which is actually an 8-hour session in its own self, which I completed somehow in 45 minutes flat, has brought some understanding to you. And it also made you a little smile for that matter.
Yes.
So over to you, Vaishali ma'am.
Yes. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining with us today and giving us your valuable time.
Absolutely my pleasure.
Yes, it perfectly said that this session would surely help our students and faculty.
Yes, why not?
One in their life.
Absolutely. I am sure that people still have a couple of minutes to ask questions. So Vaishali ma'am is now on camera. Thank God I have somebody on the camera. वरना कोई दिख ही नहीं रहा है. मैं अपने आप को देख रही हूँ.
Sometimes it's very difficult to carry on. I understand.
I understand that. No. Yes. I am perfectly, aware of this. कि 22 long months, Vaishali ma'am, I have trained on the virtual platform.
Yes.
मुझे पता है वो बहुत irritating हो जाता है. So yes, I am absolutely happy.
For us also, ma'am, because we have also conducted virtual classes.
Absolutely. So if there is any kind of a question, Vaishali ma'am, I'll be very happy to respond to it. If you have anything, please let me.
But you said it right that about the all four questions, there is the main question that is H index.
Yes, absolutely.
And that is very important.
Yes.
So does H index nowadays, that because of social media influence, that index is moving towards materialistic world, right?
Absolutely. Social media is all about materialism. Please think about it. You use Facebook, you're feeding Mark Zuckerberg. You're using Instagram, you're still feeding him. You use WhatsApp, you're still feeding him. Are you happy using all of these particular mediums? You are happy for a limited period of time. But मजा कब आता है वैशाली मैम? जब आप किसी और की पिक्चर देख के बुरा फील करते हैं कि वो सिंगापुर होके आ गए और मैं तो सापुतारा भी नहीं जाकर आ सकी.
Yes, that's right.
है ना? So we actually see other people और हम ये सोचना शुरू कर देते हैं यार इसके पास में वो है मेरे पास में क्यों नहीं है.
And what is the right way or to guide someone who is moving towards that materialistic world, right?
Yes.
Because nowadays H index is moving towards materialistic world.
I agree with you. एक सर्टेन जनरेशन है वैशाली मैम जिनको बहुत छोटी छोटी चीजों में बहुत खुशी मिल जाती थी, वो पुराने जमाने के लोग थे।
Exactly.
दाल चावल मिल गया तो भी खुश है। बट एक आजकल की जनरेशन है जहाँ पर थोड़ा सा स्ट्रगल है। आज यही चाहिए, ऐसा ही चाहिए, यही होना चाहिए, ये फोन मिलेगा तो हम लोग काम करेंगे and so on.
Complaints in all the things they
Right,
get.
I agree. I agree with you. So
So,
if there is
what is
any,
the advice for them?
sorry,
For them, what is your advice?
I generally don't advise Vaishali ma'am because I'm not a guru to advise, but I have a suggestion. Learn to live life in the moment, in the now. कोविड ने सबको ये सिखा दिया कि कितना भी पैसा हो, अगर कोविड किसी को होना था ना, तो कोई भी दवाई, कोई भी हॉस्पिटल किसी को जिंदा नहीं रख पाया. एंड इफ लाइफ हैड टू गो, इट वेंट लाइक दिस. बट इमेजिन आप हर रोज ऐसे जीते हैं कि आपका आखिरी दिन है. यू विल बी एबल टू लिव ईच मोमेंट वेरी हैप्पीली. अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल कॉल मी अ लिटिल क्रेजी बिकॉज मैं स्टूपिड चीजों में खुशी ढूंढ लेती हूँ, और कुछ लोगों को बहुत बड़ी बड़ी चीजें चाहिए होती हैं. आई लाइक माई प्लेट फुल ऑफ दाल चावल एंड लॉट्स ऑफ पिकल. मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता है. दैट मेक्स मी हैप्पी इंस्टेंटली. लेकिन अगर कोई बोले कि ये भी चाहिए, वो भी चाहिए, ऐसा मिल जाए, वैसा मिल जाए, नॉट पॉसिबल. आई हैव नेवर वर्कड इन एनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन फॉर 25 long years. I've never done a job. I've been a consultant all my life. So my salary was never consistent. मुझे हमेशा महीने की सैलरी 10, 20,000, 50,000, 1 लाख नहीं मिलता था. आज भी नहीं मिलता. But I found happiness in the connections that I made with people. I found happiness in the way I was called by organizations and colleges and institutes and universities across the globe for that matter to come and deliver sessions, which I got a lot of happiness from. और इसी चीज के साथ साथ वैशाली मैम पैसे मिलते हैं तो बहुत अच्छा लगता है, तो वो आपको एंजॉय करना बहुत जरूरी है. सो माय सजेशन इज इन द मोमेंट, इन द नाउ. इसके लिए पीपल कैन रीड अ बुक by the name of Ikigai, IKIGAI, right? That is the power of being happy in the moment, in the now. Right? If there is any question that people have, Vaishali ma'am, I'll be very happy to answer to that.
I think we have discussed this during only, so there are no questions now, ma'am.
Okay, that's very interesting. I think we have a very intelligent bunch of people who have got no questions at all.
Because we have discussed in the session, during the session only, ma'am.
Yes. No, I completely
I will
understand.
communicate with you, right?
Sorry, I didn't understand that, Vaishali ma'am.
There might be questions afterwards, then we will communicate with you.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'll be more than happy to respond to questions if anything comes later. I'll be very happy to connect with people, also with students and with anybody else who's joining the session. Be it, I am generally not on Facebook, but definitely I do exist on LinkedIn with the same name that you see on the screen. I'm very much existent on Instagram, very little of it. But of course, now that Parul University is connected, I'm going to be there also. So you can feel free to bounce off a question or anything for that matter whenever you feel like.
Sure. Right. Thank you so much, ma'am.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on board, Vaishali ma'am, Hemal sir, and of course Parul University and the students of Parul. Thank you so much for having me around. It was a sheer delight to meet people, not face to face, but definitely virtually. Right? Thank you so much. Everyone have a lovely, lovely day ahead. God bless all of you. Do take care. Thank you.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye bye.